face locked onto the phone. And I wished I'd had a number so I could be color unknown. And then I tell her to look into my eyes and never let it go.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I did this design right here, but I'm also going to be sharing with you a few tips and tricks that I've learned to make extending my non-dominant hand a little bit easier. So if you guys are interested in a closer look at everything I did to complete this look, then just keep on watching. So moving right on with this tutorial guys, and my very first step is to go ahead and cleanse my natural nail plate, and I'm using some Silk Clear nail cleanser and also a lint-free wipe to do that. I'm just giving my nails a good rub and making sure I remove any oils or dirt and debris so I have a clean surface. Then I'm going to go in with the Cuccio Pro Nail Dehydrator. I swear by this stuff, I've never had any lifting since I've started using this, and I really love the job that it does. Again, I will leave everything that I use linked down below. So I'm going to go ahead and dehydrate all my nails and allow that to air dry. Then once that's air dried, I go in with another coat of the Cuccio Pro, but this time it's their extra strength nail primer. This is an acid primer, so you do want to be careful and avoid the skin. But I do 3 dots, one at the top of the cuticle, one at the middle of the nail, and then one at the bottom, and then allow it to evaporate. You do not have to add lots of this to the nail, and I really truly believe that this combo is why my nails have been lasting really well. Then my next step in my base layer is to go in with my Soak Off Base Gel, and since I'm using the Madam Glam Polygel today, I'm going to be using the Madam Glam Soak Off Base Coat. I'm going to apply a nice even layer to the nails, and remember, if you do not apply an even layer you will get heat spikes, which will cause your nails to get burning hot underneath the light. So you do want to remember just to do a nice even layer and make sure you have removed any excess from around the cuticle area. So I do that to all of the nails, and then I pop that into my LED light for 30 seconds. So my first tip for you guys in making this as easy as possible when working with your non-dominant hand is to use gel forms. I absolutely love using nail forms or nail tips as well. The nail forms, the paper ones I mean, but with these gel forms they are amazing at building an apex and doing everything that you need them to do without so much work, if that makes any sense. So my first tip is to go ahead and measure out your gel forms, and you want to make sure you've got a perfect fit, because if you have a little space then it will affect the structure of your nail, which could lead to breaks and things like that, and you really don't want that, because since Polygel is a file off gel, it means you're going to be filing it off all the time, which could cause your nails to get thin. So moving on with my Polygel application, the Polygel I'm using today is Madam Glam's in Ice Blossom, which is their clear Polygel. I absolutely love this stuff. It is super clear and I really like it. I think I own just 2 of them and I haven't had a problem with any of the Madam Glam Polygels. So I have my isopropyl alcohol with a high alcohol content, and I also will be using the spatula and the dual-ended brush, also by Madam Glam. So since I'm using my non-dominant hand today, I like to make it as easy as possible. So I'm also going to fill every single one of the gel forms in one go. So I will go ahead and dip my brush into that isopropyl alcohol and then remove 90% of that liquid. You do not want too much of the isopropyl alcohol because it can thin out the polygel, and again you will lose structure in your nail. So you just want to have enough on that brush where your brush isn't sticking to the polygel, but not too much that it's overflowing. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have a really nice thin area at the top of the gel form. Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought there. And then I'm going to thin it down the nail, and I always like to start with a thin base and then add another layer of polygel if I need to. You do not want to start with too thick because then it will be a nightmare to file it off because it is a hard gel. So I shape out the bottom of the nail where the free edge will be, and this time I'm going for an oval nail, so I'm just slightly making it as easy as possible by forming that polygel into a semicircle at the bottom, and that just makes filing for me a little bit easier. So that's a little tip as well. Just go ahead and make sure you're sort of molding the polygel into a sort of shape that you want, and that way you do not have to do too much filing with your non-dominant hand, because if like me you're absolutely useless with it and filing is an absolute nightmare. So once I have all of my gel forms ready and filled with the polygel, I go ahead and start applying them to the nail. Starting with the thumb, I first push it up as close to the cuticle area as I can get, and you will see that I really take my time to make sure I've got it as flush as I possibly can. And then when I'm happy with that, I will slowly start to add pressure onto the gel form and push the polygel into my natural nail. And then you will notice that a bubble appears. So I do add a little bit more pressure just to release that bubble, and then it will slowly push the bubble up to the cuticle area, meaning I could file the rest of it off and it isn't affecting the structure of my nail. Then you will notice it kind of starts to curl at the bottom, so I take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol and the polygel brush, and I go out and smooth that as much as I possibly can, and I will refine it a little bit later with my under nail cuticle bit. And then before I move on to the next nail, I go ahead again and dip my brush into the isopropyl alcohol and then clean around the cuticle area and also at the top of the cuticle, just to make sure any of that overflowing polygel is removed. And then I will go ahead and flash cure that for 15 seconds before moving on to the next nail. And then I repeat the process on the rest of the nails and then cure the last nail for 60 seconds. So this is what the nails look like once they come out of the light, and as you can see, I am now adding a little bit of pressure onto those little tiny pegs that poke out at the end of the polygel gel forms. So I'm now going to go ahead and just release them. So all you need to do is add a little bit of pressure and then they just pop off the nail, which is amazing, and you are left with the most perfect polygel extensions that really require minimal work. And that's why I love polygel for my non-dominant hand, simply because it makes it so much easier and I don't have to faff around with those paper nail forms or nail tips or anything like that. And I love that the apex is usually perfect on the second layer, but if you need more layers of polygel, you could go ahead and repeat it. I did need another layer on the middle finger, but the rest were completely fine. So for my filing, I first go in with this Ink London nail buffer, and I'm using the 180 grit side, and I'm going to go ahead and buff the whole nail. And you will notice that I have sped this up because it takes me a lifetime to use my non-dominant hand to do anything. So what I will usually do is just move my finger as opposed to moving the nail file, and I find that a little bit easier. Then I go in with my safety bit and just refine the nail around the cuticle area, take off a little bit of the bulk, and then I will go in with another nail bit, which is the under nail cleaner, and then I will go ahead and remove some of the bulk and then tidy up the cuticle area and then also the sidewalls with that. Then my next step is to go in and sanitize my nails, again using the Sil Clear Nail Cleanser and also a lint-free wipe. And I do this just to remove any dust and debris from the filing so I have a nice smooth base for the polish. So moving on to the nail design, I wanted something a little bit end of summer but still with a pop of colour. So I'm going to be using a base coat by Ink London, also Magpie Glitter in May, which is a gorgeous red and gold mix. It was part of their summer, sorry, I cannot speak tonight, 2018 collection, and it is seriously beautiful and I've been dying to use it. So I'm applying a layer of the base coat just to my middle finger, then I'm going to sprinkle on May and then use my catcher tray to catch any excess, tap off the excess and then cure that for 60 seconds. Then using my dusting brush, I go ahead and really give that a good brush to make sure I remove any of that loose glitter. And then I add a layer of base coat because, as you know, I do not mind getting glitter in my base coat because I usually add a layer of gel, but I hate getting it in my top coat. Then for the rest of the nails, I'm using Ink London's I-83, and this colour is probably one in my collection that screams end of summer the most. It's the most beautiful dusty sort of dark pink. I absolutely love it. And I apply 2 coats to each nail, curing each coat for 30 seconds in between. So for the nail art for these nails, I decided to go with a little bit of stamping. I haven't done it for ages, but it's super easy to do and perfect if you're using your non-dominant hand. So I'm going to be using Kelly Negri number 31, and I'm using this abstract design at the bottom, sort of like a little paint drip type effect to it. I do not know what to call it, but it's awesome. And I'm applying this to the glitter nail. I first wipe off any excess from my stamper, and this means I do not have to do, well, I did have to do a little bit of cleanup, but it's really minimal. So again, you do not have to do too much since we are going to be working with our non-dominant hand. And as you can see, I went ahead and added stripes onto the ring finger. I completely forgot to film them because I'm a total dope, but there we go. And then I go ahead and apply a layer of Ink London's Ijel Pro Finish to all of those nails to seal in my design. Then I'm going to be finishing off this design with a little bit of bling on my ring finger. So as always, I'm using my Bluesky Decor Gel and my Crystal Katana, but you will not see me use the Crystal Katana because, like a complete idiot, I forgot to film that part as always. Like, I do not know what's wrong with me. Sometimes I just get in so enthralled with doing my nails that I completely forget to press play. But I apply that to the top quarter of my nail, and then I'm going to be applying this absolutely gorgeous little glass dome thing filled with flowers and little beads that I got from AliExpress. They've got this total vintage feel to them and they are stunning. If I could find the exact ones, I will go ahead and leave them linked below because I haven't seen anything like it on AliExpress since. So I also add a little white ball and then a little pink and yellow one to bring this look together, and again, as I mentioned, give it a little pop of colour. And then I finish this look by adding my hand cream, sanitising my nails, and then adding cuticle oil. So guys, this is what my design looked like once everything was complete. I really hope you enjoyed my end of summer / 3D nails today. They were super easy to do, but I hope you picked up some tips and tricks on how to make your non-dominant hand just as nice as your dominant one. With a few simple steps, you could make them just as pretty by using ready-made 3D nail art and some simple stamping. So as always guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I would totally appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Kylie. I am a complete nail polish addict, and on my channel you will find everything from nail art to swatches, reviews and the occasional haul. So if that's something that piques your interest, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to click that notifications bell. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.